That's streaming. And going live on Facebook in 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys.
What's up?
Welcome to Take Offense.
Yes. I didn't do what I was going to do. Okay.
Do what you're going to do.
No, it was too late.
No, it's not.
I'll do it next time.
Okay.
It was too late.
It's too late.
It's too late now. It won't be funny now.
It'll be.
But yes,
Got one.
welcome to Take Offense. I am Cody.
I'm Nick.
We're sure. We're pretty sure.
Don't take offense.
Take a stand. And if you take offense,
That could be your conscience tapping you on the shoulder.
it most likely fucking is. Let me turn my volume down on the phone so I don't get any notification bleed into our stuff here. I am not awake yet.
We're working on it. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna vibrate up a little bit. And
Whoa there, everybody. Buzz.
Buzz.
All
All right, where are we going?
So, our producer tells us.
We're all black. Huh. It was a black day.
Oh, the shirts. Jesus Christ. Well, somebody just took offense. No. Amanda tells me that yesterday there was a frog outside,
Yeah.
and she couldn't get either of my older kids to pick it up.
Why?
And
this is the good
Yeah,
part.
and the middle one goes, I don't want to pick that thing up. I don't want diabetes.
So you never know what your kids are gonna grab hold of.
See, I haven't seen this Princess and the Frog movie by Disney, so I don't know what they're fucking telling kids.
Disney's now telling people that you can pick
I
up
don't
a
know.
frog and get diabetes.
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but that's probably where he got it. Now I'm going to be called a racist because I didn't watch Princess and the Frog. Because that was the first black Disney princess.
I've seen it. I don't remember anything about diabetes. We watched it years ago.
How did you I want to know how you watched that movie.
Because it's about New Orleans.
Yeah, but how bad was it?
It
was Disney New Orleans?
Yeah, I mean, it was about, essentially a lady who's really good at Creole cooking, and that was okay. So let's do a little background. Where Creoles came from. This is history. This is not Dr. Nick being all racist, because that's not really a thing.
No.
In New Orleans, there were slaves. There were, and they had plantations, and they would have sex with their slaves because it's what you did. And in New Orleans, they had a bunch of French people, and they did it a little differently. If they got their slaves pregnant, the kids from that union, they considered them their kids. So they didn't just put them in the slave pen, or I don't even know how that works. They didn't send them back to the slave quarters. They were their kids, so they would send them to the slave pen, whatever,
Oh my God.
slave quarters.
History, kids.
History. But
Waverly's here.
Hey, Waverly. No, he's not.
no, he's not. Waverly should be here, not wherever he is. So they would send their slaves to Europe. Their kids to Europe to get educated, and they came back. And so Creole is a combination of black and white.
Yep.
And then they would set them up with some sort of business, and the whole combination of cooking. Our producer's laughing.
Yeah, Waverly said, "Morning, all. What did I walk into? Morning sex or slave sex pens."
Slave sex pens. So you'd walk into. Anyway, they combined the whole Cajun and French and black cooking, and it became what's called Creole cooking. And so the Creoles were the group of people who came from the slave owner mix.
What also helped was a lot of the slaves down there, Gulf Coast area, came from Haiti as well.
Yes, and they came from. That's where a lot of it, Haiti, the islands.
That's where the voodoo came from.
That's exactly where the voodoo came from. Voodoo is part of what some people call Santeria, and it originally comes from Nigeria, and it's a basic idea of worship and stuff. But
They use crystal balls.
they use a lot of everything. They use chicken bones, and so voodoo is actually a kind of a big part of New Orleans life. You don't even realize what you're getting into in New Orleans, because you talk about mojo and gris-gris and all that stuff, and it's just part of your life. You don't even think about it, and then you come someplace where they don't really have voodoo, and you start talking about the gris-gris, and people look at you funny. But it's New Orleans is a serious melting pot. You dump everything together, and we don't even think about this is weird, because it's just part of our culture. Culture's a funny thing.
It is. I mean, New Orleans. I mean, that Southern Louisiana period.
Yeah,
It's its own world.
It is. Louisiana is nothing like the rest of the country. We even have a different legal system. Our what's that?
John Aldrich.
Oh, wonderful. So in New Orleans, they don't even use the same legal system. They use what's called Napoleonic law. So if you study law in New Orleans, you're doing something completely different than a lot of the rest of the world, or the U.S.
Was the time to kill was Alabama, right, or Mississippi? That wasn't New Orleans, was it? Or Louisiana?
I think you're right. I think it was Mississippi.
Okay. Matthew McConaughey law. We're gonna hang out and take our shirts off. And, all right. What I love about high school girls.
I get older,
they stay the same age.
Now,
As the pedophile police pull up to my door and arrest Cody and Nick.
No.
We were quoting a movie, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right.
or Revenge of the Nerds. I don't know. I can't find a date. I've been combing the high schools, and that would be Booger.
Yeah, well,
I was so happy the other day. I don't even remember what happened, but my wife quoted Revenge of the Nerds, and she quoted a Booger quote. And I was giggling, because it was like, I love you so much. My wife pulls some stuff out that just, it's amazing. We were at an MMA event, and I was the ringside doctor, and Laura would come with me just to watch the fights. And they had this professional MMA guy as one of the judges, and we're sitting there, and he's a great kid. He's a wrestler, and we're talking, and I said, "Yeah, it's amazing." I was sitting there watching the last UFC with my wife, and this guy got caught in a guillotine in like the first 20 seconds of a fight, and I hear from over my shoulder, "Ooh, they're dry. He's gonna have a tough time getting out of this one." And I'm like, I love you so much. and the little wrestler guy kind of looked over at my wife and looked at me like, "Damn, you're lucky." So she'll pull pop references out pretty regularly. It's awesome.
all right,
TJ joined us, and John Aldrich said hi, and Waverly said yes, he should be here. He overslept. No excuse. He blames his agent, PR girl, handler, LOL.
way to go, Sam. Drop the ball on that one.
Next one, how it's made the plummas.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you're lucky. You saved Amanda with that one, Waverly, because I was blaming our producer
I thought our producer
for not getting our guest in
Drop it.
here. Because that's what you do in this type of thing. When you have a producer, that's who you put all the blame on. I was in radio, I know.
They just
I got blamed for a lot of
they
shit.
just take it.
You're not the talent.
You're not the talent.
That's the way it works, right? That when I produce shows, that's how it seemed to be.
We're the talent.
There was one certain
what
person.
was that Groundhog Day? Did he just call himself Vitaly?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh my God! All right. Holy smokes!
It was funny when we were at Beer Fest at Busch Gardens, walking through, and the polka band started up, and Josh and I are walking together.
Holding hands.
Josh
Yeah.
Husak?
Yeah.
Nice.
And the polka band starts playing a song, and I'm like, "Oh, it's a Pennsylvania polka," and I'm singing along with it. And he's like, he kind of looked at me a little bit, and I went, "Dude, you know why I know this song?" He goes, "No." I said, "I heard it 9,000 times every time you watch Groundhog Day. That's what they're playing. You know, that's what the polka band's playing in it, the Pennsylvania polka."
That's hilarious.
It's like, why else would I know the Pennsylvania polka?
In the good old days, they'd pull a hog out of the cage and they'd eat it. You're hypocrites. I don't know why that cracks me up, but
No, it's funny. It's
every
funny.
time that cracks me up.
That movie is so great.
Well, did you hear the thing they were talking about doing a remake of Groundhog Day?
Oh, Jesus, no.
Oh yeah, they're going to re-release the same one and call it a remake.
That's worth it. That's worth it.
That would be.
That is
awesome.
so worth it.
Well, you know they put Jurassic Park out. We rewatched that in 3D when they re-released that, and you know it was Jurassic Park, so it was fine, but it was not. Yeah, no.
No, Groundhog Day. That one we talked about that on the show a while back. Like how many days he actually went through and stuff like that. We actually did all the research back. Well, we read somebody else's research.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't sit there and watch it and go, okay, how many days would this have taken and this have taken, and because I mean.
Well, he was talking about just flipping cards, and he goes, "Yeah, 6 months you'll be a pro," and she's like, "That's what you do with eternity," and he's like, "Now you know."
Yeah, well, I mean that, and I mean it was something like 13 years.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, because of how long it would have taken him to learn the piano like that and things like that. You know, it was they went like deep into all this stuff, so it was pretty awesome.
That's funny.
Yep. Okay, one thing we do got to talk about. I just thought about this. Just remember this. The most important thing that happened last Sunday. Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
46-9 over the Indianapolis Colts.
Nice.
How'd the Aints do?
I don't remember.
No, you guys lost.
Yeah, we. I think we were set up for that one.
You lost against Minnesota with Adrian Peterson in your backfield.
Dude, Minnesota has been kicking our asses at the most inopportune times for so long. It's just sad. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, because I keep going off frame. I'm like,
It's like I took up the whole.
well, it's funny. The streaming frame is smaller than the Facebook frame, so
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And
and
taller.
they're and taller and opposite.
That is kind of weird. Yeah, so if I go like that, I'm on Facebook and I'm pointing left, but on our streaming thing, I'm pointing right.
Just look at his shirt; it's backwards on one of them.
Oh yeah, you can
Backwards
read
on Facebook.
You can read it on the other one. That's so weird.
It is.
But yeah, there's a lot. Well, also, you know where we are is, you know, a few days ago we had 9/11.
Yeah.
And you know, there was an interesting thing. One of Hunter S. Thompson quotes, and I didn't know he was alive for 9/11. I mean, I guess he was, but it says the towers are gone, now reduced to a bloody rubble, along with the hopes of peace in our time. In the United States or any other country, make no mistake about it, we are at war now with somebody, and we will stay at war with that mysterious enemy for the rest of our lives. And Hunter Thompson went through the Vietnam War. He went through a lot of stuff, and he was a crazy dude who did a lot of drugs, but the guy had an incredible mind, and he was very prophetic, because he could see where things were going, and that's a shame.
Well, I'm sure we've talked about it before, but I was in the Navy at the time. And my buddy was getting ready to pull out. He was on the Roosevelt.
That's what she said.
But he was on the Roosevelt. I was on the Truman, and our ship was in the dry dock at Norfolk Naval Shipyard with a big hole in the side because we were putting in a new AC unit. So we weren't going anywhere. But he was getting ready to pull out, and they just had a new baby. So my plan was to get up and go over and help his wife. You know, so she could get some stuff done. I was going to kind of watch the baby and help them out a little bit. And I woke up, didn't even turn on the TV, got dressed, left my apartment, walked to their apartment, and she opens the door and she's bawling her eyes out. And I'm just thinking, the fuck did Tommy do? You know?
That's where you go.
And I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on? And she didn't say a word. She just opened the door, and she points at the TV, and right then the second plane hit.
Yeah.
And I just went, "What are you watching?"
Yeah,
you
know,
know,
it's real.
Yeah. And she goes, "No, this is for real." And I went, "No." She goes, "No, seriously, this is real. This is happening right now." And I came in and I just sat down on her couch, and we just sat there watching this, like, what the hell is going on? Tommy was on duty that day. That's what it was. He wasn't getting ready to pull out yet.
My friend Pete Goldman had an appointment at one of the towers.
Oh.
And it got canceled.
Oh, shit. That you know, I've heard a lot of those stories like that. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So Tommy calls and says, "Hey, we're pulling out in 12 hours." Which is something to get a carrier ready to pull out in 12 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, you know, I need somebody to come get the car so that she can have the car while he's gone.
Oh, this is one where you rode your bike up there.
Yeah, so yeah, I was on leave because we were in the shipyard, so I was like, I'll take leave now because we're not going to be doing anything on the ship anyway. So I got full beard going on, and I'm riding my bike down Hampton Boulevard to Norfolk Naval Base, and I got stopped twice by reporters who just wanted to hear what I had to say, and I'm like, look, I got to get to the base, I'm sorry. I get to the front gate, and they didn't want to let me in because they're looking at my ID and looking at me and seeing the beard. They're like, I'm like, no, I'm on leave. I have to get in here. And I guess they did some kind of check. They called my command, and they said, no, that's him. Let him on. So I went. I got their car. I rode his bike, actually. And I had to take the wheel off of it to get it in the trunk because they had like a small car. So I got the car back to her. And then we just sat there just like in disbelief, not knowing what's going on. I'm calling my command, like, do I need to come back in? You know, what's going on? Because I'm on leave, but I'm in town. So you guys need me for something, let me know. It was insane. It was the craziest thing. And then, you know, we had no clue what to expect because we're right there at Norfolk Naval Base.
Yeah.
The largest naval base in the world. You know, we were expecting to get hit there too, because then they hit the Pentagon. Then they were heading to.
And that brings up the weird stuff.
Where were they heading to? Was the third one?
White House.
That's right. Yeah, the White House, the one that landed in
But
Pennsylvania.
that's the weird part is they talk about the Pentagon, and have you ever seen the video of when it hit the Pentagon?
I've seen multiple videos. I've seen videos that show a plane. I've seen videos that don't.
I've never seen one that shows a plane. So
I've seen pictures of the plane sitting in the building.
yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, see, well, those get erased by anonymous.
Yeah, I don't know.
So Beverly writes, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be
Waverly's
nothing.
quoting Dune.
Only I will remain. And
Waverly.
he goes on to say, any thoughts on the Orville? I enjoyed episode 1.
Yes. Did you watch the Orville?
Okay, so we're gonna now make a drastic.
Okay. Yeah.
what?
We're not even gonna make a 180. We're
Actually,
gonna
no.
make
We're gonna
a
stop. Hold on.
270.
We'll
and
stop
go
on the
there.
Orville. We'll stop on the Orville. We'll wait on that for a second because I do want to bring up something else. But
Waverly's absolutely right though in
Mm-hmm.
one thing, because he was talking about, he quoted Dune and says, "Fear is the mind killer. I'll let it go through me and not worry about it." That's really important because fear causes you to do stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna die, I mean, not to get too preachy, but the Bhagavad Gita says that we're not physical beings anyway. You can't die anyway. Your body can die, but your soul can never die. So worrying about that sort of stuff is kind of pointless anyway.
When we went out to see.
What did you go see?
No, went out to see. Went out on deployment. On the Truman.
You deployed to see what?
Yeah. Shut up. Anyways, we went out in 2000, and came back in early 2001. So we went out to see pre 9/11. What was crazy was we were the newest carrier in the Navy, newest carrier in the fleet. This was our maiden deployment, so we were supposed to go show off the new ship.
Okay. You went and showed it off already.
Well, we were supposed to hit England and France and Spain and all these awesome countries. And then on our way over is when the Cole got hit. Can you look up that date, babe? USS Cole bombing? Thank
Was
you.
the Cole when the Israelis attacked our ship?
It was in Yemen. The suicide bomber on a John boat.
Oh, that was a different one.
Yeah, he rolled right up on it and blew a 40-foot hole in the sides of the ship.
October 12th, 2000.
October 12, 2000. Yep. So we're heading. They're in the Washington Battle Group, and we were heading over to relieve the Washington Battle Group. You know, and in the Med and in the Persian Gulf. And yeah, so that happened, and we're like, I mean, this was before 9/11, so this was, you know, the terrorist attacks weren't like as rampant as they became afterwards.
Well, you say that,
Well,
but I was around in the 80s when the Marine barracks, and I think it was in Lebanon, somebody, it was one of the first
Yep,
drivers.
I remember that.
They drove right up into the barracks,
I do remember that.
blew the whole Marine barracks apart,
Yep.
killed a lot of people.
Really did.
So-
Actually, what got me too was you know, of course, we're on the ship, and we don't get news as quickly sometimes, unless they announce it to us. So we get that news, and we're all kind of like, "What the hell are we going into?" And then what hit me was word got around that a young lady on the ship, who I kind of knew in passing, just, you know, not really, I didn't, like, never really had a real conversation with her or anything, but she got pregnant, was on the Truman, so they put her TAD, which, you know, they temporary assigned duty, and then after she had her baby and did her maternity leave, she got stationed on the Cole, and that's when the Cole got hit.
Boom.
Yeah. So that was that one that hit us all.
By the
on
way,
ship.
you put a hole in a ship. I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of former military who watch the show, but if you're not former military, these ships are made of metal. Like thick metal. Not like super thick metal, but they're metal. So if you're in a John boat and you've got enough explosives to blow a hole in a ship, god damn, that's a lot of explosives.
Also depends on where you hit it, where you hit the ship. Because if you know where the ammo locker is,
I don't know, do a bunch of sand pounders know where the ammo locker is?
sure they can find out.
This is before the internet.
An ammo locker is considered I don't know if that's considered a classified space like that. It might be in the drawings. I don't know. And I'm sure they can find ways of getting the drawings. There's usually always a foolish carpenter.
There's always a Jewish carpenter.
Foolish carpenter.
Oh, a foolish carpenter.
Star Wars, man. Come on.
I'm not getting it.
They stole the plans from a foolish carpenter. Anyways. All right. Anyways. Okay. Wait, I know
I
Wiggly
didn't
got
get
it. But yeah, yeah. So it got crazy for us with that, and we ended up going over and doing stuff in Yemen and bombing Iraq and getting wasted with a bunch of Brits. But I've talked about that stuff before.
Indeed.
But okay, so now on to happier, funnier things.
Yeah, why not?
Did you watch The Orville?
I've not watched The Orville.
Okay, The Orville, for those of you who don't know, is
I've heard mixed reviews.
okay. Well, racist. Anyways, no, just got that. The Orville is Seth MacFarlane's Star Trek. Basically, what it is. It's Seth MacFarlane's humor with Star Trek.
The only thing I saw was the commercial. We come in peace. Well, we killed your dad, but besides that, we come in peace.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. Amanda probably hasn't watched any episodes of Star Trek. She enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really funny. You know, it's TV, so it's Seth MacFarlane's TV humor. You know, what he could get away with on TV. The characters are great. Victor Garber made an appearance, which is awesome, because anytime Victor Garber shows up. Victor Garber, for those who don't know, from the Arrowverse, he is... God, him and Jackson.
I don't know who play.
Him and Jackson together are
Firestorm.
Firestorm. Victor Garber's the old guy.
Oh, he's Gray.
Gray.
He's
Gray.
from
Legends of Tomorrow.
But
he was also on, you know...
Yeah, briefly he was
yeah.
on Flash.
Yep. So, yeah, Victor Garber, who was also the guy who had Titanic built in the movie. He was like the owner of the Titanic.
Waverly says it's more Trek than STD is.
It is more Trek than STD.
Trekkies usually don't get STDs. They have to have sex for that. Anyways,
So, have you even kissed a girl?
no matter her color. See?
No,
See?
no. Have you seen the
Yes,
Saturday Night Live
yes,
with,
where he...
with Bill Shatner?
William Shatner.
Of course, this is a rendition of Evil Kirk from episode.
Yeah.
So you know, live
Yeah.
long and prosper.
But no.
Yeah.
Is he talking about Star Trek Dimensions? The new one? Is that what it's called?
Star Trek.
Discovery.
Discovery, the new Star Trek show.
No.
Professor Martin Stein.
Professor Martin Stein.
Was the guy? Yes, and that's when he's sitting in the office eating marbles
Yes.
from the commercials.
What?
In the commercial.
Oh,
He
yeah.
eats
Oh,
a
yeah,
marble.
yeah.
Those are
No, he's
marbles.
talking about Professor Stein from...
Professor Stein was the guy's name in the Arrowverse.
Wait, if his name's
We-
Martin Stein, why'd they call him Gray?
We failed horribly because at some point we should have seen it. Because I've heard a lot of
Yeah,
reviews.
we
saying
we
it's
haven't seen
really
it
good.
yet, so...
We at some point I got to grab Cody and we got to go see it, just so we can review it.
Mm-hmm. Well, she has to see the original first. I know.
You like horror movies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. My wife said no.
Oh, yeah. We watched... I think the only Ed and Lorraine movie we haven't watched is Annabelle, which we need to get on, because they got the new one. But,
I don't watch horror movies. I screamed out loud in a theater full of people. Shut the door.
back to your room. Go away.
Shut the door.
Go away.
Shut the door. No, you come on in. Just go to the room. Our studio is being overrun by little people.
Well, one of them was little.
Yeah, one of them was. They were both little to me.
Shut up.
Everybody's little compared to you.
So-
Not Scott.
And that's why Scott gives the best hugs. I feel like I'm being hugged when Scott hugs. It's like when I hug most people, I'm hugging you. And it's fine. I love to hug people. But when Scott hugs you,
You
it's
just
like
feel safe.
you're just being, you're hugged. He's a massive man. Oh my God, it's wonderful. I love being hugged by Scott. You don't always want to be top of the food chain. There's a lot of stress being the alpha. It's just, it's a little, you have to protect everybody, but when Scott's there to make you feel safe, it's special.
And that segment of Nick Balavich's Delusional is brought to you by... Yeah. The alpha.
Josh isn't here. You don't have to protect his ego.
His ego's doing okay right now.
Yeah, he's doing just fine.
I got to meet her.
Oh,
Hang out with her.
No, at the
Beer
Busch
Fest,
Gardens?
yes.
Nice, very nice.
Finally got to meet Josh's girlfriend. I'm not going to give her name out.
Nice girl.
Yeah, she's not bad. Trixie's pretty cool. No, it's not Trixie.
Trixie's
It's Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. I was working on the house the other day, and I was stripping wires for an electrical.
Oh, good
thing.
segue.
Oh, it was
strippers.
great. It was strippers. and I didn't have a stripper. All I had was, you know, a pair of Kleins and just, well, they're called dikes. They're wire clippers. They're actually called dikes. I'm not making fun. So I had some dikes and some Kleins, and I'm putting it in a receptacle. And my wife goes, and I'm like, God damn it! And my wife goes, What do you need? I need a stripper, damn it.
This Dyke's just not doing it for me.
And I had to get out a file and sharpen the dikes, and because they were old and kind of rusty, so I got the dikes all tuned up with a file, and then I used the Kleins and the dikes, and I stripped off the wires. But it was like, God damn it!
Sorry, we can't say Dyke. We can't even say lesbian. It's women in comfortable shoes.
Yes.
If you get that quote, you're awesome. Not even gonna give it away.
What is a dike? A large woman standing by water going, Back up, you! Back up, you
Don't go
water.
in there.
Don't go in there, you water.
Oh my God!
So,
one of the best movies for lines ever. If you want just rapid fire, screw it, I'll give it up now.
Okay.
If you knew it before that, but it was Good Morning Vietnam.
Good Morning Vietnam. I would
Rapid
love
fire
to,
Robin Williams.
I would love to see, if anybody could find it, the script of Good Morning Vietnam before Robin Williams got a hold of it. And then you take that script and then you watch the movie and see what he added.
I figured out.
I would love to see that.
I figured out there's a guy at work who is Bruno Kirby's character, the lieutenant. We have that guy at work.
You are
And
more
if-
in need of a... No, that was the sergeant.
Yeah. And if you do... But Bruno... Well, you know what I didn't realize at first? It took me years to realize it. It was like, probably 10 years after either of the movies came out.
Okay.
Bruno Kirby, the guy who played the lieutenant, was the friend in... he was the third friend in City Slickers. So it was Billy Crystal, Daniel Stern, and Bruno Kirby.
Really?
The dude with the mustache who had like the young wife and all that. Yeah. That was the same guy. But if you listen to the voice, it's the same guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have never gotten that.
Yeah, me neither, but I think the mustache has changed everything.
Well,
That
he had a
gained a little
goatee, too.
Yeah, he gained a little weight before City Slickers too. As well. I mean, not too, but
I don't know.
because he wasn't
It's
in
like
City
it's like he
Slickers,
went from black hair to a redhead, though.
He had no hair in Good Morning Vietnam. Well, almost no hair. He was shaved down.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that was it.
Which, I mean, Good Morning Vietnam, if you have not seen that movie, go see that or go find it. It is such a good movie.
get
It's
it at
Robin
the-
Williams, man.
Go get it out of the $5 bin and just.
Right?
I mean, it must be super cheap by now.
But he plays he's an airman during Vietnam who gets stationed in Vietnam, and he's a radio DJ. And
The reason it's called Good Morning Vietnam is he starts off every morning with Good Morning Vietnam.
Don't ever fucking do that again.
What?
That was terrible.
Well, I'm trying not to be too loud.
I don't give a shit. Who are you trying not to be loud for?
I don't know. It's habit. I'm inside.
They're gone.
God's gone. Holy shit.
Has been for some time. He said, here's a platypus. Now fuck you all. Take that shit, bitches. That's what God did.
God is dead. Nietzsche. Nietzsche is dead. God. If you've actually studied Nietzsche, that's not what he meant.
No.
By the way, when Nietzsche was talking about God is dead, he didn't say there's no God. He was saying when people stop believing in a higher power, it'll require the actions of somebody called an Übermensch, an overman, to maintain morality in the world.
That's exactly what he meant.
I studied philosophy.
Chaka Khan said it ain't my thing.
I actually won Trivial Pursuit with Friedrich Nietzsche.
You played together? You were a team?
Well, that was the answer, because to win the game, he puts the thing in the thing, and he goes, "All right, here's your question. What philosopher came up with the concept of the Übermensch?" And I went, "Friedrich Nietzsche." And the guy just looked at me, and I went, "You want me to spell it?" And
shit, I thought it said Nietzsche.
Nietzsche.
I thought they were talking about the Packers.
Well, the funny part is my friend Kevin and I were drunk and still kicked somebody's ass.
Well, that's you know, there was a book, Intensity by Dean Koontz.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it. And this is before I'd ever read anything by Nietzsche. Because I was reading Dean Koontz in 5th grade. But I was that kid.
How old were you in 5th grade? I mean, what is 5th grade age?
10?
10. So
I know, because I have a 5th grader right now.
So I was 20-something. Oh, yeah, that's when I was reading it, too. That's when they were coming out.
Yeah, Intensity was a great book. But the guy had
a Dark Place.
Oh, so
I read that at night.
The Bad Place. It's The Bad Place.
The Bad Place.
The Bad Place.
I was a night watchman, and I would read Koontz when everybody else had gone to bed.
We got told...
And then I had to walk through the campus to make sure everything was nailed down. So you're like walking through dark buildings after reading Koontz. I'm 20, I don't know, 22, 23 years old, maybe 24. No, I was 22, 23. Yeah, I walked very quickly.
We got told in 5th grade to do a book report on any book we wanted, and I did The Bad Place.
Nice.
I got to call home. He's just like, what is he reading? And my mom's like, be happy he's reading.
Yeah. Okay, there's this giant dude with 4 balls and no penis.
Yes.
And he's really pissed.
Mm-hmm. But no, Intensity, the guy in the book, the bad guy in it, I can't remember his name, of course. That was years ago that I read it. He had a dog, and he used Nietzsche as heel.
Oh.
That was his thing. He would say Nietzsche, and the dog would heel. So that's the... And at first I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh, he said Nietzsche. Talking about football, you know? And then I said something, I think, to my dad about it. He goes, no, that's Nietzsche. And I'm like, how do you know that?
When you do a lot of blow, you stay up late at night. There's nothing to do but read. Because back in the day, TV didn't run all night.
Well,
it turned off.
At 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you get the national anthem and it would turn off. But that was, like, in ancient times.
Not that long ago, Dick.
It was in the 80s.
Which you were alive in.
You were alive.
Yes, but I'm talking, this was later in life. This was the 90s.
They still turned off sometime. Didn't it?
We had cable.
I don't remember.
No.
Do you remember?
We did not have cable. We had a satellite dish. So we could get any station in America.
Oh, wow.
Which, the reason we got a satellite dish is because we were Rams fans living in Texas. So we could watch every Rams game. We could watch all the Trailblazers games on their home stations.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was great because Phil Schonely, who used to do the Trailblazer games, was great. He was like the Chris Berman of basketball. Lickety brindle up the middle, and he jammed that baby. That was what he's known for. Yep. that was his rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. You know, that's yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whoop. Hey, good, go. Oh, the wait, and he does.
My favorite Chris Berman thing was when he was on the longest yard, sitting next to the Indian guy who never said anything.
Dalip Singh.
Is that him? Dalip Singh?
No, oh no. You're talking about native guy, Native American guy he was sitting next to.
American Indian, sure.
You said Indian. Well, that's what made me think, because Dalip Singh was an Eastern Indian guy.
Oh, no.
In the movie, he was the one that played the big guy.
I'm talking Feather, not Dot.
Casino, not 7-Eleven?
Yes. Casino, not 7-Eleven.
I have it in my blood. I'm okay. We can say that about each other.
I just don't care.
Only we can say it about each other.
My wife actually thought she had Native American in her because her grandfather was a big old liar, and he used to say, everybody's shaking the table now. So for years, in fact, one of my wife's cousins, I kid you not, went to college on a free ride because she was Native American. And it turns out that Laura took that ancestry thing, not a drop.
I heard they're getting more strict on the who is allowed to be part of the nation.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're to be part of the nation, you have to register by a certain age, or it's too late.
Well, because they were even
And then-
allowing adopted kids to be part of the nation.
Oh.
Like if you were adopted by people who are in the nation, they were allowing their adopted kids. I think they're putting a stop to that now.
Oh wow.
But my thing is, why put a stop to that? I thought you wanted to grow your numbers.
Yeah, it's family. Yeah, talk about just getting
They're going by blood, not belief.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about being just destroyed. 100 million people just bye-bye.
Yeah.
Fucking Whitey. Nice. Our producers. There is a movie called Dances with Wolves. And my best friend in California, Stuart, and I were out at a bar, and every now and then we would go and we would have just a guys' night out. He's telling me this story where there's a scene in Dances with Wolves where the cavalry guys are shooting at the wolf Tusocks. Stuart's wife, who's a 5-foot-tall little Irish woman, stands up in the middle of the theater, turns, looks straight at him and says, "I bet you just love that, don't you, white man?"
Wow.
Fish dance.
That's okay. What was it? We went to see How High
How high?
in theater.
Uh-huh.
The movie with Method Man and Redman, and probably the only white guy in the theater.
Nice.
And they start playing Du Hast, Rammstein, and I'm like, yes!
My friend Eric was in the theater opening day for the movie Malcolm X. Only white dude in the whole theater. He's got his hoodie on, sitting in the back row. And he just sat very, very still because apparently people were pissed off.
Oh, I almost said something so racist just now.
Why would you say something racist, Cody?
Actually, it's not really racist. If you really wanted to blend in, you should have been yelling at the screen.
Oh yeah, black people yell.
I know.
You done dropped your gun. Now what you gonna do?
No, the whole Ralphie May bit. You ever seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Don't go. What they doing in Ochin? Ochin.
Chin. That is my wife's, by the way, her favorite Ralphie May routine.
Yes, mine too.
Ever.
It is mine too.
Never catch me scuba diving, going scuba diving with all those animals.
Into Ochin.
I do mess up my mess. I pull a razor out of my titties and cut somebody. I have a ton of black patients. I go, listen, I am the master of the weave. I will never mess up your weave adjusting you. And they appreciate that.
John, I don't know if John, probably not. John Aldridge, his son Kevin, probably thinks I'm racist now because I love screwing with that kid. Really bad. And John thinks it's hilarious. Because I looked at Kevin, and John, he's his stepson. But, it's his dad. And from what I see, anyway. Kevin, so Kevin's a black kid, John's white. But Kevin, I was like, man, you made history, dude. You're the first black guy to make it 2 years in a row on the hayride. Which is true. For some reason, they don't stick around.
I think I know that kid.
The really big kid.
Yeah, he's going to be confused. I mean,
both of his parents are white now.
Well, you got to figure, this poor kid, walks in and sees his dad peeing and realizes that at 8 his Johnson's bigger than his dad's.
Damn.
I
mean, myself and Irene. You kidding me? Those kids' dicks are bigger than them sausages. So bad. Anyways, but no, and I kept screwing with Kevin on stuff, and I mean, I was like, man, this kid. I was like, John, your kid probably thinks I'm racist. He's like, no, dude, he gets it. He knows you're fucking with him. I was like, all right, because I kept fucking with him on that shit.
That's awesome. Is he gonna be back this year?
Yes, he is. That's why I'm saying he made it 2 years in a row.
Oh, he made it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, he's back. I was so proud of him because he's a big kid. I mean, he's 15 or 16 now, and
oh, this isn't the same guy.
Oh no, you're okay. Yeah,
I'm thinking of no. There's another guy, and he's mixed, and he's but he's older. He's probably in his early 20s.
You're talking about Dakota, aren't you?
Yes, I think I am. Dakota.
Dakota. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Because we went to the hayride. I brought the girls to the hayride. And he actually remembered me because we were in the same area. And he was like, Doc! And I'm like, hey, man. It's hilarious. Nobody calls me by my name anymore. Jack started calling me Doc. Now everybody calls me Doc. It's like... So I'm like, do I know you from the
That's usually
hayride?
what it is. If Jack starts calling you something, that's what Jack's the trendsetter when it comes to names. That's what it is.
Well, I have a feeling that nobody else knows what anybody else's name is, so they just listen for what the hell Jack calls them.
I think this is the first year Jack started calling me by my name. Because ever since my first year, it was King! King!
Because that's what he used to play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, when it was time to do makeup, that's what he... King! Get in here so I can airbrush you. Get in here so I can beat you up. Because that's what he do. He made my face look all beat up. What's up? What are you saying? Time for a break?
Time for a break.
Okay, time for a break. We will be... that was really weird, whatever just came out of my mouth. Like, wait.